Hello everyone, welcome to RK Success Academy, and in this today's video we are going to learn about the types of organizations. So in the previous video we have discussed about the organizing itself, and now we are going to discuss the different type of organization which can be there. So first of all we will be discussing in this video would be about the types like the informal and formal organizations, the mechanized and organic organizations, the tall and short organizations. And in the later part of the video, we are going to discuss the different types of organization according to the structure of any particular organization. As you can see, we have the formal and informal one. We are going to learn these two by having a differentiation in between these two. So as you can see, we have the different type of bases according to which we may differentiate these two. The first base is origin. So accordingly, the formal organization are the ones which are originated out of delegation of authority, whereas in the informal organization these are originated by having a social relationship among the members. So what that means is that we need not to do anything to make any informal organization. They just evolve themselves out of the social context in which the members or the people of that organization are meeting, whereas in the formal organization we need to deliberately do efforts to make that organization exist, and that the efforts which we are talking would include the delegation of authority, in which we make a structure and delegate authorities to different level of the particular organization. Next we have is the structure. According to the structure, we may say that the formal organization are well defined structure, whereas in the informal organization there is no as such structure is present. As you all know that the formal organization has a proper hierarchy, whereas in the informal organization no such thing is there. So as we may see that the third point is the authority. So in the formal organization, the authority flows from the top to bottom level, whereas in the informal organization there is no as such fixation. The authority may flow from top to bottom, from bottom to top, or even on the horizontal levels. Next point we may see here that is the dynamism. So the formal organization tends to be more rigid kind of organizations, whereas the informal ones are more flexible in nature. What that means is that in the formal organizations, the change is not that much frequently done. The things are more rigid in nature, whereas in the informal ones, the things are regularly changing as per the comfort of their members. Next point is that we have communication. So in the formal organization, the communication is very much structured. Everything is fixed how one is going to communicate with other. This made the whole process of communication a bit slow, whereas in the informal organizations the communication tends to be very fast, as there are no fixed foundation for the communication to be happen, so the process become very fast. So next point is the period of existence. So in the, as we may see here, that the formal organizations tend to exist for a longer period of time, as there is a features like no regular changes and so on. So and whereas the informal ones usually exist for a lesser period of times, as there are no fixed structure is there and the things are regularly changing, which makes the stability of the organization a bit questionable point. So next point is leadership. In the formal organization, the manager used to be the leader itself, whereas in the informal organization there are separate people who are voluntarily be chosen by the members themselves to be their leaders, as they have some qualities for which they like to follow. So here we have compiled the differentiations between the formal and the informal organization, by which we may see that the formal organization are a kind of rigid organization which have well structures and there are not much changes going on, whereas comparatively in the informal ones these exist out of the social context among the people themselves. There is social relationship they evolve, they don't have a proper structure for them. More importantly, they keep on changing, which decrease the stability of such organizations. So next we have is the mechanized or the organic organizations. So what are these two? We will be seeing them by having the differentiation in between these two. So first point which we have here is the formalization. So according to the formalization, the mechanized organization tends to be more formal, whereas the organic tends to be a bit informal, or we may say that the degree of formalization is less. So the next point which we have here is the distribution of authority. We may see here that the mechanized organization tend to be a bit centralized. Here the authority is not distributed or delegated too much to the lower ends of the hierarchy, whereas in the organic organizations the authority is distributed and the power are decentralized. So the next point is the span of control. In the mechanized organization, the span of control is a narrow span of control, whereas in the organic organization, the span of control is wide. We have discussed the span of control in our previous video. You may see that video in the link provided here, or you may have that link in the description as well if you haven't covered that. So we won't be covering that point here in much details. You may see that video for that detailed discussion, and we are skipping to our next point, which is flow of information. As you can see, in the mechanized organization the flow of information is fixed to the structure, whereas in the organic organization there is free flow of the information. One may freely communicate his or her information to others. So the next point is the specializations. In the mechanized organization the jobs are highly specialized, whereas in the organic organization the jobs aren't specialized. Instead they have cross functioning teams. What are these? Basically when a particular person is given only a single task, that is the specialized jobs. That means that he or she has to do only that particular work only, whereas in cross functional team a particular person is given all the tasks relating to any particular work or job, so that he may get the overall idea what the things are going to be around that particular task or job. Okay, so the next point that we have here is the hierarchical structure. In the mechanized organization the hierarchical structure is based on the departmentalization, whereas in the informal organization the hierarchical structure is basically like the functional cross functional teams, where everyone has to perform a task related to any particular work. So here we have compiled the mechanized and the organic organizations. So in the mechanized organization what we have seen is that there is high degree of formalization just like the formal organization, whereas in the organic the formalization degree it is a bit less, and we have the key feature of this organization is the cross functioning teams, where every particular person is performing a variety of tasks. Okay, so next point which we are going to discuss is tall and flat organization. We may also differentiate these two according to the different bases. So first one, as you can see, we have levels of management. As the name suggested, the tall organization will have multiple levels of hierarchical structures, whereas the flat organization will have less number of hierarchical levels. So this make the number of hierarchical levels in the tall organization more and less in the flatter organizations. So as you can see that the tall organization would have a large number of hierarchical structure, which make the probability of overall promotions in the whole career of any particular employee more as compared to the flatter organization, where even the levels are very less, so the promotion would not be done very frequently, and a particular employee will have to wait even for years to get promoted. So the next point is the chain of command. As you may see that the number of levels in the hierarchical structure would be more in the tall organization, so as a result of that the chain of command will also be long, whereas in the flat organization the chain of command would be short one. Adding on to this point, we also can discuss about the span of control, which we have already covered in our previous video. The link is again flashing here. You can click in if you haven't gone through it. So the tall organization have a very less span of control, as one person would have to manage only a fewer persons, whereas in a flat organization where the employees are equal. So if you compare by equal employees, then you can easily see that the people are distributed in the hierarchical structure of a tall organization through narrow span of controls, whereas in the flatter organization the span of control would be much higher. Next point is the flow of communication. As we have already observed that communication is directly dependent on the levels of the hierarchy. If the levels are more, that would result into slower communication, whereas in the less hierarchical levels the speed of communication become very fast. So the next point what we have here is the freedom to the employees. So as it is very obvious that if the span of control to the employees is narrow, that means that not much freedom would be provided to those employees, whereas in a broader or a wide span of control there would be more freedom which would be provided to the employees. So now we are going to discuss the next part of this video. So if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe and give a like if you are liking my content, and also press the bell icon so that you can get the latest notification as soon as possible. So now we are going to discuss the types of the organization which are based on the structure of the organization. So what are these? Basically it starts with the line kind of organization. So line kind of organization are just the simplest one, in which there is just a hierarchy of the authorities. There is a senior and there are subordinate under him or her, and so on. As you can see the diagram also, it is just a simplest kind of organizational structure, as there is CEO on the top and there are managers under him. Under the managers we can see the foremen, and under the foremen there are workers. So this was the line kind of organizational structure. Next what we have is the staff organization or the functional organization. Such kind of organizations are derived out of the various functions which are to be performed by different operatives. Suppose for here example given in the diagram, we can see that there are different directors of the different kinds, such as the personnel director, and then there is the quality control director, then there is the production control director, and R&D director, so on the finance director. So these are the basic crux how the functional areas would be differentiated in the particular organization, and then in this organization itself various employees would be assigned to different functional areas. Next we have is the line and staff organization. Line and staff is just a combination of both the line and the staff kind of organization. Basically in this the staff organization is introduced in the line itself, where the normal routine of line organization is as such, but from the staff organization the HR department or the personnel department is assigned parallelly to the line organization, so that on one person there are basically two authorities, one out of the functional area of HR and one according to the direct line authority which have been following according to the line organization. So next we have different departments, and according to this the structure of our organization can also be different. So there are different bases according to which we may create the different departments in our organization. Okay, so as we may see that the first type is on the basis of functions. So suppose we have different kind of functions, as we have discussed in the functional organization also, it is just similar to that, but when we discuss it in the departmentalization, these are referred as the different departments, whereas they were just simple functions in the functional organization. That's the only bit of difference in these two. So that we have already discussed according to the function. Next what we have is the departmentalization according to the products. So in an organization there can be different kind of products, there can be a variety of products which the organization may or would be selling or producing. So according to that, if we made different departments of one kind of products and another kind of products, then that would be the structure of an departmentalization organization on the basis of product. Next what we have, it is on the basis of geographical territories. So any business or any organization could be operating into multiple locations or multiple geographical areas. So when the departments are made according to those geographical areas, suppose area 1, 2, 3, so that would be a kind of departmentalization structure of an organization according to the geographical territory. Next we may see is the on the basis of projects. So there could be different projects ongoing in an organizations. So these basically operates in the organizations like of real estate. So suppose there is an organization of real estate, there are multiple projects which are ongoing, suppose on of project A, project B, project C, as discussed in the example. So the departments or the departments are basically made according to these specific projects. Suppose the real estate organization is building A, building B and building C. So all the work related to the building A would be performed by the department A, and accordingly different works of building B and building C would also be performed by the department B and department C. So now the last kind of departmental type which we have is on the basis of process or activity. There could be different processes in any manufacturing firm or trading firm. The whole functions of the organization could be divided into various small processes, and then the departments could be made according to those particular processes or activities. So that suppose in any car manufacturing firm, there could be different departments like chassis building, assembly, engine area, paint area. So these can be different processes which are there, and thus the department could be made according to these particular activities also. So it is basically depend upon the type of organization, how the organization find it useful to differentiate in amongst their departments, so that they could get the ease of doing the business by making those departments. So these were the types which were according to the departments as we have discussed. So next type of organization which is there and is a bit important, and it haven't been discussed more in the regular textbooks. So the type is committee type. So firstly we are going to discuss where the committees can be put it in an organization. So in the simple line organization, there can be various committees which can be made in that particular organization. Suppose in this example itself, we can see that there are board of directors, and associated to the board of directors there are two committees. First one is the finance committee, and second one is the executive committee. So these two committee would be giving the various advice to the board of directors and so on. And beneath the board of directors we have general managers, and general managers are also being advised by different committees such as the purchase committee and promotion committee. So these committees are basically a kind of separate units in an organization which can be introduced so as to support the existing structure of the organization. Okay, so now that would be clear. So now we are going to discuss what is the structure of any particular single committee. So the structure of committee is as following. So we are here seeing that there are various particular persons which are in that committee. So most important persons of this committee are firstly the president, then there is a secretary, then there is a treasurer, and then there is a registrar, which are basically in some committees there is a registrar and some there are not. So it is not a regular post or the fixed post, but other are usually the regular posts which are there in any committee. and rest there is also post for other committee members, which also help to the major members of that committee. Also in some committees there is a post of vice president. Okay, so that was the all about the committee structure of any organization. So next what we are going to discuss is the project or team kind of organization. So in project or team kind of organization, what happens basically is that there are, as we discussed in the project departmentalization, same kind of thing is there in this structure of organization. But what is the key difference? It is that instead of having a separate department or separate project, we are just doing that, we are creating a kind of tabular form of a hierarchical structure where the existing structure also exists, like the line structure, as well as the project is also created. We can clear it with this example. Suppose there is an organization and it have a line structure. So from that existing line structure of the organization, we are creating a team for any project. So that would be the particularly project organizations. So now we are going to discuss the next type, which is matrix organization. So in the matrix organization, what is there? It is a proper tabular form of organization which have both horizontal and vertical differentiation or the departmentalization, and the teams or the posts are formed according to that. As you can see in the example also, on the horizontal row it has product manager, finance manager, and so on, other different managers which are required in the organization. And on the vertical axis it has the different products. Suppose the product A, product B, product C. So now what is going on here is that for product A, there is a separate department, or we may say a separate category of structure is there for the product A, where it has all the different kind of personals which are required according to the different departments as exist in the line structure of any organization. So this was basically the matrix kind of organization. So next what we have is the inverted pyramid. Inverted pyramid is just simple thing. It basically exists in those firms which are directly associated in providing services to the customers. Suppose there is banking sector. So in banking sector, the hierarchical structure is just like that. The people who directly interact with the customers are the lower end employees, whereas the upper end employees don't directly interact with the customers. So it's just like that line structure is only there, but to relate it with the customers end, it is shaped like an inverted pyramid. So when we study the line structure in context to the customers, we can call it as an inverted pyramid also. So next what we have is the network organization. Network organization is a newer concept which have been introduced in recent years. So what happened in the network organization is that there are different companies or different organizations themselves which are operating for another different you may say that an umbrella organization which is so vast in size that a single task or single function needs to be performed by a different organization. So as we may see in the diagram that instead of having different department, it has different organizations. So there is a core company, and to do the production activities for that core company, there is production company. To do the marketing for that company, we have the marketing company. To do the PR, we have another company, and so on. For HR, there may be different company. So instead of having different department, it has different companies which perform the task for that core company. So next we have is the circular kind of organization. It is also a modification of line organization in context to the core superior levels. So instead of having a pyramid structure which goes from the top to down, it says that there is a circular form of organization in which all the departments are interlinked, and the centermost people have to manage all the outermost parts by having authority on them. So it's just a modification to the existing hierarchical structure of line organizations. So the last type which we have is the hybrid kind of organization. So in hybrid kind of organization, what is there, that instead of having any particular single structure out of these lists we have discussed, there are different or multiple combinations of different approaches, so that the departmental structure of the organization could be made as per the custom needs of that particular organization. So if we are making some combination of 2 or 3 different types, then what our organization structure would be formed would be called as hybrid structure. So that was all about today's video. I hope you would have liked my content, and if you have liked, just leave a like on the video, do subscribe this video and share it with your friends also. Thank you so much.